Hey guys, back at it, here to review Black Adam, movie starring The Rock. Uh, where should I start? So I guess I'll do a brief summary of the movie. The movie's basically about The Rock's character. He got his powers in the 5,000 years ago, and he got his powers from his son, who these wizards or sorcerers, whatever they were, uh, they believed him to be a hero, so they gave him his powers. Later on in the movie, we find out that The Rock is the original person that got the person's powers' dad, and The Rock was going to die, and then the son gave him his powers in order to save his dad, and because he didn't have his powers temporarily, some guards shot him with an arrow and killed him. So we basically pick up in the beginning of the movie where The Rock is in modern times, fish out of water, and he's trying to cope with the modern world. And something that I didn't really think about until after the movie, like he keeps staring at this statue of his son, and I'm thinking about it now, and it's it's kind of heartwarming, but we don't know why he's been staring at the statue throughout the entire movie, which was you know there's mystery to it, but at the same time, it's I would like to have known why he's staring at the statue. But I mean, we find out later on in the movie. Uh, what else? It was an action movie. There was a lot of action. None of the action was really anything we haven't seen before. There's this Doctor Fate character. He reminded me of a lot of Doctor Strange, and we didn't see him do anything we haven't seen Doctor Strange do, which was kind of boring. Like he was looking into the future. He made duplicates of himself, and well, Doctor Strange duplicates were intangible, but this guy's his duplicates were tangible, which I thought was really cool. But aside from that, he changed the where they were gonna fight at. They were fighting in a modern city, and then he turned it into ancient northern Africa. What else did he do? He was blocking some fire. He didn't really do anything we haven't seen Doctor Strange do. There was a character called Adam Smasher. He could really just get big, and that was really it. What else? There was a character called Cyclone. Her abilities were to throw wind, and one of the things that kind of bugged me about this movie is there's this Hulk man character. We really don't know where they got their powers, where they came from, how long they've been superhero. Well, the Cyclone and the Atom Smasher, they were new superheroes, but the other ones, we just really don't get any backstory on them. I don't know much about them, and I actually liked pretty much all of them. This movie was actually funny. I laughed maybe 3 times, which is very rare, especially in a DC movie. Uh, Yeah, so it was good. Just the action, it just didn't hold up. The villain, the final villain at the end of the movie, it he looked like really fake, kind of funny looking too. Uh, I would rather have just seen like maybe like just in a movie like this, just like make him look like similar to if he's gonna be a demon, a red demon, make him look similar to Hellboy. It doesn't have to be like all CGI, you know? I felt like they could have just I mean the guy really didn't look like when he transformed into this demon, he really didn't even look like the character he was portrayed by. So they could have just had it be some like bigger dude that could like, you know, make the Rock look like a regular sized guy or what have you, and then had those two fight as opposed to it just being like all fake and CGI. One thing that was kind of distracting in the movie, uh, and it made me really want to look this up. The guy that played Atom Smasher, he reminded me a lot of Mark Ruffalo, his voice and everything. I was starting to think maybe like he was the Hulk's son, but I know that this is a DC movie and that's Marvel, but I was really curious and I looked it up after the movie and, they weren't related, which was crazy. They kind of talked alike. Mark Ruffalo kind of does this thing with his mouth. I felt like that guy was doing it. Maybe he's like a Mark Ruffalo impersonator or something. I know it's kind of off subject, but yeah. What else? I would like to have seen like more of The Rock and his son's relationship, like what the son did after he got his powers. Just more like backstory with everybody. Even like The Rock's character, I would have liked to have seen him because he didn't really want his son to be a hero. So maybe like some backstory and to see like other people trying to be heroes in those days and them getting killed. That could have, you know, just more context. Uh, but it was a good movie. I laughed. I was into it, except for like the final like 5 minutes. Well, actually, the last 1 minute of the movie, the after credit scene, that was nice. I like that, but we don't know what's gonna happen. Why couldn't we just see like one punch from Superman, or why couldn't Black Adam just hit hit Superman with like a lightning bolt or something, and then it goes off? They're just standing there smirking at each other. It's like, come on, you're gonna tease Superman, and he can't even throw a straight right or something at him. We just needed like one swing or something. And, or like how in like Rocky 2, how it ends with Apollo Creed and Rocky getting ready to like take a swing at each other. At least give us that. I'm not trying to see Black Adam and Superman tease shit. What else do I have? Oh, I got a question. What's my favorite The Rock movie? My favorite Rock movie is probably I really like The Rundown. I probably have to go with The Rundown. Yeah, The Rundown would have to be my favorite. It was really good, kind of funny. I really like the action. I like the action in The Rundown more than I like the action in this. And that movie was like a 2003. It probably had like a quarter of the budget that this movie has. Would I watch it again? Uh, I'll watch it again, but probably like if they make another, probably if they make like another, if they make another like Superman movie and Black Adam is in it. And Black Adam is in it, then I will do that, but not like just to just watch this. I don't know. Uh, I got another question. Favorite DC movie? Favorite DC movie would probably have to be Batman versus Superman. Yeah, probably have to be Batman versus Superman. I liked that Superman. It was kind of cool to see him team up with Batman, but it's like at the same time, it's kind of hard to believe. Like if Superman like didn't want to kill the dude, he couldn't kill him. He could basically just like jump away and then wait for his like eye beams or like his freeze breath to kick in, and then kill Batman immediately if he wanted to. If you could pick any of their superpowers, which would you pick? I think I'll go with the Doctor Fate. I really like Doctor Strange, and he kind of had like similar abilities to him. They weren't like all showcased. I would hope he could do more than what he did, but yeah, I think I'd probably go Doctor Fate. Who would you go with? How would you compare this movie to Marvel movies? This last phase of Marvel movies, Thor Ragnarok. I was going to review that, but I didn't end up reviewing it mainly because I was so disappointed in it. I was really excited about Gore the God Butcher, but it just really didn't pan out. What was the one before that? Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. Uh, I had a lot of hype for both those movies, and they just weren't what I thought they were going to be. I didn't care for Avengers Endgame. The only thing I really liked about that movie was the Captain America picking up Mjolnir and going toe to toe with Thanos. But aside from that, I didn't really care for that movie too much. Um, so the recent Marvel movies I haven't cared for, but like if I compare it to like my favorites, there's no contest. Like Avengers: Infinity War, Thor, Ragnarok, uh, Civil War. It really doesn't stack up. So yeah, I wouldn't compare it to like the best Marvel movies. How did I like The Rock being Black Adam? Oh, I thought he did a really good job. He probably couldn't have done better. I think it was more of like the action just not being good enough, and then the final bad guy. But I like to see more of The Rock playing this character. Maybe make him a little bit more, ruthless and mean. And yeah, I'd like to see him like being a bad guy and maybe the next Man of Steel, something like that. Uh, if I could pick someone to play Black Adam, if not The Rock, who would I pick? That is a great question. Uh, who was that? Randy Orton. He's like a wrestler. He kind of reminds me, just like look wise, of Black Adam in the comic books, and he's like a pretty big dude. I think he's like 6'4". I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched wrestling in a while, but if I had to choose someone, I think I would go with him. But yeah, did you like their costumes? The costumes, I liked The Rock's first Black Adam costume, and then he almost got like an upgrade, and his costume was like a black version of Shazam's, and I thought it was terrible. I really don't like Shazam's costume, so don't really want to see a black version of it. But yeah, I thought the Atom Smasher's costume was cool, even though it was kind of like it's basically like Deadpool's costume. I liked the girl, the colors of her costume were pretty cool. Doctor Fate's costume was cool. They had some pretty cool costumes. I think my favorite would probably be Doctor Fate's, and then the Hawkman. His costume was terrible, but yeah, everyone else's was pretty cool. Uh, and which was my favorite? Yeah, I think I'd probably go Doctor Fate. He'd probably have my favorite costume. I like the blue and gold. Pretty cool. Uh, would I recommend others to see this movie? Uh, if you're a big DC fan, yeah. If you are kind of like hard up for an action movie, you haven't seen any good, passable action movies in a while, yeah. I liked, I just wish they would have gone more in depth with like the sun and stuff like that. I felt like it was kind of almost rushed, especially the ending. I don't know. In a lot of these movies nowadays, I feel like they kill the final bad guy a little too easy. I want to see like a hard, drawn out fight. Do you see them giving Black Adam a love interest in the next movie? You know what? In most of the Rock's movies, he doesn't really have love interests. They'll just be kind of like a woman that's there, you know? And a lot of the Rock's movies I've seen, he doesn't really have too many love interests. So, I mean, I guess maybe they'll have like another woman that's there or whatever. Yeah, and I mean that kind of sucks because it's like every other, I guess at this point he's kind of a hero or more almost like an anti-hero. And he had that single mother, and then we know they killed his wife, but yeah, it would be nice to see him, maybe him and Wonder Woman, since they're both like 5,000 years old. Well, I guess technically his body, well, not even his, I was going to say his body is 5,000 years old, but it was like trapped in that prison. So I don't know if you would still count that. Maybe it might be some kind of like a time chamber or something. You know what I'm saying? Like time doesn't go by the same way. So he might not technically be 5,000 years, but he's from that old like school, like thinking and stuff. So he might be a little bit more physical with Wonder Woman than she would be like accustomed to. You know, if you've seen like movies from the 50s and stuff, like men would just kind of smack women if they didn't like their behavior. So he might smack Wonder Woman, and then they'll fight to the death or whatever. You never know. I got another question. Why do you think that is? That he doesn't have love interest? Uh, Maybe they might want to just keep it like as Disney or as like PG as possible, and him having like a love interest, you know. they might think it might be like too much. I once saw this video talking about why Jackie Chan didn't really have too many love interests in movies. They said in one of his movies, I guess he kissed a woman or something like that, and a woman killed herself because she just couldn't take him seeing him with another woman. Maybe something like that. Maybe even like movies like Make More Money, if like the main character is asexual. I don't know. That's a good question though. One of these days, I'm gonna go to like a movie premiere, and when The Rock like goes, I'm gonna ask him like, "Hey, Rock, man, how come you don't be having love interest in movies?" He'll probably spit on me or something. But yeah, do you think if you were a superhero, you could take Black Adam? Uh, Honestly, yeah. I worked out a couple of times at Gold's Gym in Venice, and The Rock was there. One time, I didn't even see him come up, but I turned around. Well, I didn't turn around. I looked in the mirror, and I just saw like The Rock, and I think I was like what, like 17 or 18 at the time, and it was just like out of nowhere. You got the biggest movie star in the world standing right next to you. So I was like, oh my God, man, The Rock. And he was, even though he was working out, he had like the biggest smile on his face. Seemed like a real, like, genuinely good guy. Um, then later on, and I'm 6'3" and a half, and The Rock, he's like 6'4" or like 6'5". But, I was like, man, I thought he would be a little bit taller. And I noticed like the only like real difference between me and him is his head. It kind of goes up to like a little point. So he has like an extra like inch on. What I mean, I don't know. I'm talking too much. Uh, anyway, so I saw him again, and he seemed like really approachable. I've seen like so many celebrities living in Los Angeles, and I would say like The Rock is probably one of the most like approachable. Back that was like 10 years ago though, but yeah, he seemed like a really good guy. So I wouldn't want to beat him up, but yeah, I could take him if I had to. Uh, are you looking forward to seeing more DC to come? I feel like we only see Marvel movies these days. Well, I mean, now I'm excited for if they're. I'm not for sure if they're gonna do like a Man of Steel Part Two. That would be cool to see. Uh, I know there's gonna be an Aquaman Part Two. Flashpoint. I'm pretty excited about that. And although I didn't really care for that latest Batman movie, I'd like to see another one. Maybe it'll be more like action packed. But yeah, I don't mind like DC movies. They could be better. I mean, I'm sure they're trying their best, but we're not really seeing anything like we haven't seen with the action scenes. It's a lot of CGI. The universe just isn't as well put together as Marvel's universe. So, whereas I could watch the movies or whatever, because you want to see Superman, you want to see Batman. They just don't stack up to the better Marvel movies. So if I compare this to like, if you go, what's better, Black Adam or Thor: Love and Thunder? When I look at it and really think about it, and mainly just because of how they've built up Thor's character and everything, I would, even though I didn't really care for most of Thor: Love and Thunder or Black Adam, it's kind of close. But it's like I know Thor, I know the Guardians of the Galaxy, So because I almost like know these characters, love these characters. I'm gonna go with, you know, the characters and stuff that I know. And I can't even, well, there's probably close to like 10 DC movies. And it's like, we got Amanda Waller and we got what, one of her helpers, and then Superman at the very end. But aside from that, we didn't even really get too many, um, you know, other DCU characters that are in this universe in this movie. It's like, come on. Now, I mean, you know, I'm sure they're trying their best, but you know, DC, you could do better. Uh, but yeah, what would I rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10? But it's an action movie, and I didn't care too much for the action. So if I had to rate it, I'd probably go like 5 out of 10, maybe 6. A lot of the stuff that that would have made me like it more, it almost feels like they took it out or they didn't bother to put it in, which sucks. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any more questions. Yeah, it's looking like that's a no. What else do I got? Yeah, I mean, they tried their best. It was like a non-stop action movie. Just I didn't care for the action. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys. Over and out.